This is IGZY Math 2. We're going to be covering area of circles and perimeter of those circles. First thing I need to try and identify is what we have here. We have some formulas. So, for this right here, radius is actually the distance from the center of the circle to the edge. Now, the radius is always going to be the same because a circle is cylindrical, so it actually same distance all the way around. So from here to here should be the same. So if it's here or here or here, whichever direction, it only goes from the center out to the edge. That's going to be the radius. Now the diameter is the distance all the way across, so from one edge to the other through the center, which would be here. It has to be through the center to be the diameter. So the radius is actually half of the diameter. So when I get a problem that has the diameter, and all you have to do is divide that by 2, and it's going to give you whatever your radius is. So now my formula for area is pi r squared, where r is the radius. Perimeter, it's going to be 2 pi times radius, or could be pi times diameter. Depends on what information is given to you. Since the radius is half the diameter, or the diameter is twice as much as the radius. Now let's take a look at my first problem that I have here. We're going to find the area and the perimeter of this one right here. So first thing I need to identify is I do not have the radius. The radius is going to be half of this. So my radius, if this is 12, it's going to be 6 centimeters is going to be my radius. Now let's find the area equals pi. My radius is going to be 6 squared. And when you're doing these problems, I want you to round it 1 decimal point. So we're going to round 1 decimal point on this. So in my calculator, so I'm going to have pi. Actually, there's a pi button. It's right here. Pi times, there's my parentheses 6, close it and square that. I have a square button here. So pi r squared, so I get 113.097. I'm only going to round to this place right here, so the 9 next to it's going to make it round up, so it's 113.1. So area is going to be about 113.1. Now my units are centimeters, and since it's area is always square. So there's my area. So now let's do my perimeter. So formula perimeter, I'm going to use this one down here because it already gives me the diameter. So I'm just going to use that one. So it's going to be pi times diameter. So it's pi times diameter, which is 12. $37.699. So now this 9 is going to make that 6 go up. So it's going to be 37.7. And this is going to be in centimeters. It is not area, so it's not going to be square. So it's only centimeters, it's linear. Just going to be the distance around the outside. Now, let's take a look at this next problem here. So on this next problem, I'm given just the radius here. So let's find the area. It's going to be pi times 6 squared. So now if you notice, it's the same as what my previous one is. So area is equal to pi, area is equal to, it's 113.1 centimeters square. And because if you notice on my previous problem, all it is, it's the same problem, but right here I give you that the diameter is 12, and this one I give you that the radius is 6. So it's actually going to be no different because right here the radius is going to be the same. So for perimeter is equal to, now I'm going to show you the other formula. So this formula right here, 2 pi times radius. and I'm going to show you that it's going to give you the same answer. So 2 pi, my radius is 6. So 2 pi times 6, like this. And so I should get perimeter, it's 37.7 centimeters. Now on this problem right here, we're going to actually find area of sectors and the perimeter of those sectors. So now we need to see how much of this that I actually have. So this is a hemisphere. It is half of this, so it's half the circle, so it's actually going to be the top of this. So to find the area, so if it's half a circle, I'm going to go with my area equals pi r squared, and I'm going to divide it by 4. Now, since it's half of them, how many of those do I have? I have 2, so I could actually change this from 4 to 2, half the circle, 1/2. Or I could rewrite it as pi r squared times whatever fraction of this that I have, so half, 1/2. Because sometimes you're going to end up with like a quarter of this, and we're going to actually have to multiply by 1/4, or some other strange odd number, which you just multiply by a fraction of the whole. So it's going to be area is going to be pi, my r, my radius is going to be half of that, so it's going to be 8 squared pi 8 squared. So my area equals 201. Now 0.016, that 6 is going to make that 0 go up, 0.1. And my units are going to be centimeters squared. Now for the perimeter, it's the same thing, it's half of it. So perimeter is equal to, let's go pi times diameter times my 1/2, which is going to give me, clear, pi times diameter. My diameter here is going to be 16 times 1/2, so 1 divided by 2. That's another way of writing 1/2 as 1 divided by 2. And so my perimeter is 25.1. That 3 is not going to make that 1 go up, so it drops off. So 0.1 centimeters. Alright, let's look at this next problem. So now this is a compound, so I'm going to have this one and this one. So I'm going to label this one area 1, and I'm going to label this area 2. I'm going to divide this at this point right here. Now, because this is 20 long here, this is also 20 long here. So for area 1, this is half a circle. So it's going to be pi times my radius. So if my diameter, distance all the way across, is 20, the radius is going to be 10. So 10 squared. Now, how much of that circle do I have? I have 1/2. So again, times the 1/2. Pi 10 squared times 1 divided by 2. So I get area 157 point. Now that 0.7, that 7 is going to make that 0 go up. So there's 1 centimeters square because it's area. Now let's take a look at area 2. Area 2, the base is 18 and the height is 20 since this is a rectangle. So it's going to be 18 times 20. Area 2 is equal to 360 centimeters squared. Now to find the area of the whole thing, I have to combine area 1 and area 2. So it's the 360 plus the 157.1. And I get total is going to be 517.1 centimeters squared. Now let's look at this last problem right here. This last problem is type of compound problem, but on this one right here, I'm not going to add them together. This is, again, someone took a bite out of my food. So this is a piece of my brownie that I have, which is the white chocolate macadamia nut brownie, which you only can find at certain places. Anyway, someone took a bite out of it. I'm mad. So anyway, so since someone took a bite out of that, that means I need to take that away from my whole thing to see how much brownie I'm going to have left. So I'm going to call this area 1, and this is going to be area 2. So area 1 is going to be just a rectangle. If I complete this whole thing, it's going to be the whole rectangle. Area 1 is equal to 15 times 10. Area 1 is equal to 150 centimeters squared. Now for area 2, okay, this is a quarter of a circle. So it's a quarter of a circle. So I want to find the area of the circle if the radius, so from here to here is 8 centimeters. That's going to be my radius. So right there, so I'm going to have pi times 8 squared, and since I only have 1/4 of this, it's times 1/4. So this area is going to be 50 point. This 6, the 6 is going to make that 2 go up, so it's going to be 3 centimeters squared. So I'm going to deduct this from my entire amount that I have up there, because this is the area of the whole thing, and I have to take out the bite that someone took out of my brownie. So from here, I'm going to take this number, I'm going to go 150 minus the bite that was taken out, 50.3. I get 99.7 centimeters squared as my total answer.